everyone? Welcome to the Daily Grind. My name is Kelly Johnson, your fun and friendly host. We are on episode 46, the very best one yet.
Shout out to my podcast team, Ambiguous Network, and fellow pals on there, including You Mad Bro, the Sam Bustle Podcast, and GDP Goal Driven Professionals. Where to find more about the network, head over to ambiguouspodcastsolutions.com. And if you're interested in joining the network, reach out to Will Tereshuk and his team.
Speaking of, connecting, listening to podcasts, being a busy bee on social media, I was able to get connected with another amazing woman out there in her business and everything. So today we're going to talk to her about her daily grind and sharing her stories. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Melissa Johnson. So Melissa Johnson, she's a licensed physical therapist assistant, health coach, certified personal trainer, host of For Bliss Podcast, owner of Shine Freely Company, wife, and dog mount. She lives and works in the Sandy Springs, Georgia. So welcome, Melissa Johnson.
Thank you so much. I am so glad to be here, and thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on today's show. Super excited to learn more about your story and share with our listeners and motivate them in today's episode. I guess so. First and foremost, can you tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
All right. So again, my name is Melissa. I am from Georgia, and my husband and I live in Sandy Springs, Georgia. I'm a licensed physical therapist assistant. I work in an outpatient clinic. Also, I'm a certified personal trainer. I went to school for my bachelor's in exercise science, and then afterward, I went for my associates in physical therapy. I also played 4 years of college soccer. So, yeah, that's where we're at now. I have 2 dogs, crazy labs, and yeah, that's pretty much a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Looking at Melissa's resume or as much research I could do, I was like, oh wow, she's a true daily grinder. I gotta get her on the show. So I don't even know where to start, to be honest, because you have so much stuff going on. Maybe if you want to talk about how you became interested in fitness and starting Bound in Bliss.
Sure. So I would like to start with, like I mentioned, I played 4 years of collegiate soccer, so I feel like fitness has just always been ingrained in me, something I've been passionate about. And then going from there, that's kind of what sparked my interest in physical therapy. I had a passion to help people rehabilitate, recover from injury, surgery. I myself had 4 knee surgeries in college, so thus my interest in physical therapy began. As far as Bound in Bliss, I wanted to create a website and blog as a safe space for other women to feel encouraged, inspired, and honestly, after I was really encouraged to start it after God freed me from my anxiety and an eating disorder. So I just wanted to create a space where it would be a good outlet for me and a place for other women to come to if they find themselves struggling with those things.
That's awesome. I like that you took like a personal experience being a collegiate athlete and just your own personal experiences in that realm, health industry and whatnot. Yeah, that's super great. Can you tell our listeners too, like when did you start this? Was this right after college, and did you have like a background in becoming a blogger, or tell me about more about
that? So I took a year off from college in between to do personal training. So I was working, and in that time, that's when I got engaged. So then I went back to school for physical therapy. And as far as my background in blogging, I had absolutely zero. I just had a creative outlet passion. I was like, well, I love to write. So basically my background was just journaling. So as far as building a website and all that, I just did it by honestly just learning. And thankfully my husband works in the marketing realm, so he was able to help me get started. But Yeah, I literally just flew by the seat of my pants, pretty much, as far as blogging goes.
Yeah, your website looks like fantastic for real. Like
Thank
super
you.
consumer friendly, easy to navigate, easy to find if I'm interested, in reading your latest blog post from talking about the newest edition, Shine Friendly Company, health and wellness, your podcast, Fit for Bliss, uh, anything about faith, like anything. To be honest, like super easy. I click on it. It's like beautiful. It's like, oh wow, be a light, and like every single thing I look at it, it's like, wow, this is
Thank
so
you.
motivational. So definitely sharing a really positive story out there. So yeah, like I guess moving forward from Bound in Bliss. So how did you start adding more content and being certified, being an expert in like health coaching, um, starting a podcast, things like that.
Yeah, so that's a really good question because sometimes I look back and I'm like, wow, where did all of this start? So to sum it up, normally I am very much so an introvert, don't really like share personal things, but I just felt prompted by God that I should share my testimony, that there is some other girl out there who could use it, can learn from it, and benefit from it. So my podcast I started just kind of as a to piggyback off my blog and website, and the name of it, Fit for Bliss, just came from this idea that I always thought that like being fit would help me attain happiness in life, and for me that wasn't true. I found I was constantly seeking something or chasing after something that wasn't going to fulfill me. So in my podcast, I talk about everything from faith, fitness, wellness, marriage. And then as far as like a health coach expert, I just am so passionate about helping other women in the sense of not just becoming fit. It's not that. It's more than that. It's just being a well-rounded individual, to be healthy, because I feel like I used to not have the right mindset of what that was, and just share, with other girls, that I do go to a dietitian still, and like I go to counseling, and am doing my best to be a better version of myself daily, and to not be ashamed of those things. Because I feel like sometimes, I know for myself, I used to be like ashamed to say those things out loud, and I honestly think it's great to invest in yourself and in your health and in your wellness.
That's great. We had like last weekend we had I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago we had Erin Mayer, and she was talking about too having confidence and be able to express yourself. We were
Hmm.
thinking about from like health to fitness to wellness. A very important topic on we've had in the past too Taylor Morrison about self-care, so investing in
Hmm.
yourself, important topic in today's age and something that we should be focusing on a daily basis. I think having Bound and Bliss, having Melissa here on the show today to talk about investing in yourself and having that confidence to look for ways to improve, and if not, and help out to or reach out to others to
Hmm.
do that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So I guess maybe rewind because you mentioned a little bit on the branding for your podcast, but I guess how did you come about Bound and Bliss?
Yeah, so that's another good question. That one was a lot of, I went through, I don't even know how many pieces of paper coming up with a name. Um, so that also kind of goes with Fit for Bliss, that, the definition of bliss is like a pure state of happiness. Um, and my faith has driven everything that I do. That's my foundation. So essentially, I wanted to create a place that, um, like I said, was a place of encouragement and positivity, using social media as that platform. I don't know. I just really resonated with the name of when I looked at the definition of bliss, being like bound in a pure state of happiness. And for me, that started with being rooted in my faith. So it just always keeps me grounded. And I, I don't know. The name just resonated with me when I wrote it down.
Yeah, I think it's really great to have it. It connects, to the main hub,
Hmm.
and now that you continually add on and provide resources to a lot of women out there, which is great. So
Hmm.
yeah, moving along.
Hmm.
So so we talked about your podcast as well, Fit for Bliss, and then your latest edition, so Shine Freely Company. So tell our listeners a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I'd love to. So that Shine Freely company, actually, my husband and I started this apparel line actually 1 week ago. Was our initial launch. So it's an Etsy shop. Just to give a little background, it is like basically we sell workout apparel, so tank tops, like inspirational tanks, and 10% of our proceeds go to a local nonprofit partnered with our church. The name Shine Freely Company, again, that was derived from me wanting to share with everyone what God has done in my life. And I just felt once the chains of bondage from myself were broken, that God freed me from that. I was able to shine freely. Not to sound cliche, but I feel that each and every woman has like a light within her, but sometimes it's dimmed by the heaviness of our hearts, the heaviness of the world, and other people may not see it. But when we, when those chains are lifted, where like everyone sees that light from within you shine. So yeah, that's my mission for other women, is to empower them, to help them thrive. And so we have, I mean, some of our tanks are just cute. It's like weekends coffee and my dog, or like my tagline growing grace is one of them. And yeah, right now we have 5 designs. And yeah, we're super excited to see where it goes. I just started a week ago, so it's still pretty fresh.
Yeah, super new. It was like perfect timing for the podcast as well. Yeah, Melissa and I connected, and then I'm like following her on Instagram. Like, oh, she just launched a Shine Freely company apparel line. This
Yeah.
is great. Let's add it on. So I love it. Keep on doing good. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you've had an Etsy shop for a while, or do you have a background in apparel and fitness, or is this kind of added on? This is a really good collaboration with the.
It's just another thing I added on. Yeah, my husband was like, "You're just like adding on a lot of stuff, aren't you?" I was like, "Why not?" We're in crazy times right now, and I've wanted to tap into my creative side. I feel like prior to honestly this pandemic and quarantine, I did not have time in my schedule to tap into that. And I don't know. So I just prayed about it, and it started with the blog and website, and then went to the podcast. And I was like, hey, I always wear workout tanks all the time. Like, why not just make them myself? So yeah, it may be taking on a lot, but I love it. I enjoy it, and hopefully it can benefit other people too. So
I think that's great for people out there that want to start their own business or want to dive into something further that they're passionate about. And you're a true example of that. Being able to balance a lot of things. I'm guessing you're super organized, that you can handle all this all at one time, which is awesome. You talked about your faith, and how has that been an influence like on your work, your business, and your well-being?
yeah, most definitely. So God has definitely worked and continues to work in my life in such amazing ways. Like I shared before, I'm really an introvert. I'm not very open usually with people, a little bit more closed off. But I just feel it would be selfish of me to not share all that God has done in my life. And um, like I said, I'd never, if you told me a year ago, you're going to start a website and share, your struggles with the world and a podcast and all this, I would have said you're crazy. But um, honestly, like I know I've said this before, but I used to struggle with anxiety so much. It was just crippling every day. And I knew there was a way out of it. And like I said, it's been a journey, and it's still something day to day I struggle with. But God has definitely been my foundation in that. So part of my morning routine is just getting a cup of coffee and reading my devotional and journaling. And yeah, I couldn't imagine my life any other way, because I did not grow up always having that faith. I came to it actually as an adult at age 21. So yeah, I just can't imagine my life not having the foundation of my faith.
Really, really well said. I think that really connects that personal touch to your brand, to your message, what you do out there. Yeah. How long have you had the website and blog?
Yeah, actually, so I started the website in January, and then launched the blog in February. So it actually hasn't been too long. Everything's still kind of pretty fresh. I mean, the website now, that's a few months, but I still try and work on it each and every day to add a few more resources to make it look just aesthetically better, easier to navigate. But yeah, just January of this year, to be honest.
Wow, super new. Yeah, I like it. The best is yet to come. Honestly, it still keeps on getting better. This is the best one yet for the podcast episode, and yours is the best one yet currently, I guess.
Aw, thank
Yeah,
you.
things are
I
going.
appreciate it.
Yeah, things are going well. Did you foresee yourself, I guess maybe like 5 years ago, that you were gonna start this website, this blog, talk about health and fitness, the importance of self care?
Absolutely not. Did I foresee myself 5 years ago doing this? Yeah, like I said, I can't believe how far I've come personally, and but I'm so grateful I have, and I say that because I feel like in doing so and starting my blog and podcast and just being vulnerable on social media, um, it has freed me and freed a lot of things for me that I just used to felt like, oh my gosh, I no one knows what's going on and no one else has these struggles and things like that, which I know is a lie. Um, but no, I did not see myself 5 years ago doing that because again, I was just very closed off. But it's been so freeing and like a weight lifted off my shoulders in doing so. And I mean, if I get one message per week that's like a girl reaching out to me saying, hey, like, your blog post is really encouraging, then like honestly that fills my heart because that's my mission. That's what I want to do.
That's great. Can you talk about too a little bit more about your health coaching? I know I saw recently too you posted on for the month of June. So can you tell the listeners like more what you do in that realm?
Yeah, so I'm a part of an amazing fitness community. It's a group of women that we support well, if I can talk, each other in life and in fitness, which is what I love as well. So essentially, we have a private app that we check on. We do a check in there with our workouts and our nutrition, again, life in general. But what I personally do is I sign up clients one on one and will customize a nutrition plan for them based on their fitness goals. And then when you sign up, you have access to over 1,200 programs that are already there created for you. You can do these programs in your living room. We have workouts ranging from 30 minutes a day to 60 minutes. So it's great for nurses, busy moms, you name it. There's a program for everybody, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced. Um, and again, what I love about it, honestly, is the community aspect. I used to do workouts all the time in the gym, but I just didn't have that accountability factor. And I think everyone can benefit from that in some sort of fashion. And for the month of June, we're running an amazing promo where it's $30 off when you sign up. And yeah, I just absolutely love the community and just what all you get is amazing, to be honest. So
Yeah, with health coaching, like you mentioned, it's a big community. You probably have constant communication with all these women that are involved in the programs.
mhm.
But can you share maybe like a recent success story from one of them or one of the things that really stuck with you? I mean, you probably see stuff on a daily basis in regards to, uh, people like improving their health or like thanking you or posting on social media in regards to what they've done so far and their
Yeah.
routine on your platform.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, I would say the ones that stick out to me the most are the ones where they say they have improved energy throughout the day to spend time with their little ones and their family. I'm not a mom yet, but I can imagine how big of a win that is. I just can't imagine, if you're like a mom of one or two or three, and, first of all, how amazing it is an example you're setting for your children that you're showing I'm investing in my health while investing in my family because they see that, they pick up on that. But then you also have the energy to pour into your family. Um, and then also, just a really big one is little victories, which I know kind of sounds counterintuitive, but it's more than just like, oh, I lost weight or inches, whatever. It's honestly women saying, I have more energy throughout the day. I feel more confident in myself. That's a big one. I haven't been weighing myself, but I just feel more confident throughout the day. I have more energy, and I don't know, just honestly, like those are the two that stick out to me the most because those are the messages I probably get daily. And then also, as part of our nutrition, we have like this superfood shake. So it's not just a protein shake, but we drink that daily. And I mean, it has everything from like probiotics to flaxseed, vitamins, minerals. And a lot of women message me that say it helps decrease their cravings, like sweet tooth cravings. Because I get a lot of messages like that, like my fitness is good, but I have a really bad sweet tooth. So I think that's pretty cool too. So
Not just on the fitness aspect of it, but also
mhm,
you provide guidance on nutrition, other things to be able to stay organized, have that
mhm,
optimal time. You provide a lot of different like inspiration content through your blog. So, um, following your blog, if listeners on the Daily Grind haven't already, could you talk us about small steps to a healthier you? Like, what are some tips for our listeners in doing so?
that's a great question. And honestly, I probably just started implementing the minimalist lifestyle this past year. So I love talking about it because it brings me back to grounding myself in that. Um, so simple tips, which again, I know some you may have probably already heard, other ones maybe not. Waking up just 30 minutes earlier. For me, I do have a routine in the morning where I do my Devo while drinking coffee, and then um, being organized that I am, I'm so type A. I have a planner that I literally plan out the day. Um, I love my planner. So I do that in the first 30 minutes of the day, drink my coffee. Um, and then I also incorporate at least 15 minutes per day of some type of mindfulness. So that just goes back to the self care. Um, and to me, I don't, that is kind of, I don't know, it is a way to simplify your life, honestly, because I feel like today we are so busy and like hustle and bustle. And sometimes you just need 15 minutes to slow down and simplify your day. So doing that with just like 15 minutes of mindfulness, whether it's meditation or journaling or whatever that is to you. And then another big one as far as health and fitness goes is meal prep. My husband and I take about 2 hours probably on Sunday and meal prep for the entire week. Have containers, snacks, everything in the fridge, and it has been literally game changing. Again, just during the week, after work, you don't want to cook, or you're going to grab something unhealthy out of the fridge, and you're like, nope, it's already there, so you just take it out. So that's a really big one right there.
Yeah, I can definitely. I've done a little bit of meal prepping. I haven't expanded to the whole week in advance, but I'd love to eventually work my way towards that. But it's setting those small goals, working towards here and there. So like maybe at this time for listeners out there, they can't do every single tip that you mentioned, but they can start small steps, working on a few.
Right.
Working towards that end goal in mind in regards to simplifying your life. A lot of stuff Melissa just mentioned a couple on here, but there's a lot like from her blog posts or just in general that you can eventually work towards or things to fit into your schedule so you can eventually gain that energy, have more time, have that less stress, that anxiety. These are really great resources.
Thank you.
And this is just a sneak peek, just a little some of the much the money resources on your platforms. So yeah, Melissa, can you share with our listeners too, like walk us through your daily grind? I know every day is different, obviously, and with COVID going on, that's probably played an impact as well on what you do on a regular basis. But maybe one of the days of the week that you could share with us, and how you balance your schedule and things like that.
Yeah, sure. So, gosh, I'll go based on a weekday because that's more the norm. So normally I get up um, probably around like 6:15, 6:30 a.m. Do my quiet time, and then I go to work. And I usually get off at 4:30, which is actually a really nice time. And then I will come home and my husband and I will do our workout. And in between all that, of course, I have like my meal preps and stuff like that all ready to go. And then after work, we'll work out and then we'll have our dinner together. And then honestly, usually we either like play with our dogs or we during the week sometimes like I'm involved in 2 church small groups. So we have that 2 nights a week. Um, it's kind of hard to say because right now that's not like my normal has changed as long as as everyone else's because 3 months ago I had a different normal day than today. More social gatherings and stuff like that obviously, but down to the basics each and every day, waking up, having my quiet time for 30 minutes, going to work, and then doing some sort of like working out for 30 minutes, spending time with my husband and mindfulness. And then I also like to really incorporate personal development into my daily regimen. I like to do it in the morning, but if I'm running short on time, I'll just do it at night. So whether that's a podcast or a book by my favorite author, just something like that for 15 minutes as well.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds super busy. But yeah, if you find a way to fit that into your schedule and you achieve those short or small goals, things like that. So, yeah, keep on grinding out there. But yeah, perfect transition to. Could you share with us maybe favorite books, podcasts?
Sure. So my favorite podcast currently is the She Podcast by Jordan Lee Dooley. And then I also love She's Here For It by Abby Kappa. Those are the 2 I usually listen to, like if I'm on a run or just in bed at night. Some of the episodes are a little bit longer, some are shorter, so that's what I love about it. If you're a little short on time, you can listen to a shorter one. And then my currently favorite book that I'm reading is Own Your Everyday by Jordan Lee Dooley. So she's definitely my inspiration right now.
That's great, and we'll put Melissa's recommendations in today's show notes. So yeah, Melissa, we talked about your daily schedule. What's on your daily grind in the upcoming weeks later this year?
That's a very good question with all that's going on. So hopefully the end of this year, my husband and I will be buying our first home. We're looking to move back closer to our families. They're about like 45 minutes away right now. But as far as like work and everything, just looking to do the same grind as far as that. I would love to expand my website, my podcast, just to reach more women if that's, God's will. I'm planning to do more ebooks. I have an ebook out right now on like health and fitness, and that's a free resource. So I would love to get more of those created and get more of those out. But yeah, as far as like life goes, we're just looking to buy a house at the end of the year. And, with this quarantine, I don't know. No travel plans as of right now. We love to travel, but nothing planned as of right now.
The COVID pandemic going on and a lot of different things going on throughout the U.S. and even around the world. Traveling, that really stinks. I had some travel plans in mind as well. But yeah, first home, that's big goal, big thing on your list for sure. So that's definitely keeping you busy as long as with your business, website, ebooks. That's awesome that you're working on this. And
Thank you. Yeah.
resource eventually. I'm excited to see down the road, and that means we'll probably have to get you back on the podcast too. So
I would love it.
with all the progress on all your work, do you have a word of the day to motivate our listeners out there?
Oh yeah, of course. So my word of the day is definitely grace. My kind of phrase is growing grace because I tend to be very hard on myself, and I believe each and every day we have to show ourselves the compassion we need and the grace we need that day. Because I know God extends his grace to me and I don't always accept it just because I'm so hard on myself. So my tagline for Bound in Bliss is growing in grace by nourishing yourself, nourishing your mind, nourishing your body, your soul. So I just know as women in particular, we can be very hard on ourselves. And it's okay for life to be messy sometimes because God can make beautiful things out of that mess. So I just believe that all of us should extend the kindness to ourselves that we need for that day.
Definitely, and really well with today's episode. Melissa, not, last but not least, if listeners have questions, comments, who want to learn more about Bound in Bliss podcasts, health coaching, fitness, self care, everything. So yeah, can you tell us how we can reach you? Like everything.
Oh, yeah, my favorite part, of course. Um, so I do have, of course, an email address that you guys can reach me at. Um, it's melissajohnson7582@gmail.com. As far as social media goes, my website is boundinbliss.net, and all of my resources are on there. As far as my podcast, you can just listen to, honestly, directly from my website. I try to make that super easy for y'all. Shine Freely Co. You can shop my Etsy shop from my website. So I'd say my website is a great place to start because it has everything. Um, and then I do have a social media page, like Instagram page for Bound in Bliss, Shine Freely Co., and then my personal Instagram page has all those resources as well. Um, yeah, so I would love for anyone to reach out who has questions or anything like that, comments, suggestions. I'm always open to writing blog posts on things that topics people are interested in. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing all your information. We'll for sure put Melissa's contact info in today's notes as always. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in today's episode. A big thank you for Melissa for being on our show.
When it comes to sharing my story, be sure to follow the Daily Grind at KJF Daily Grind on Instagram and me, your host, at Kelly J. Lefty on Instagram or Twitter. Make sure to go to our podcast network website, ambiguouspodcastsolutions.com, for more content such as You Mad Bro, the Sam Bustle Podcast, and GDP, Goal Driven Professionals. Listen on Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.
And as always, my name is Kelly Johnson, and have a great day.
Sorry, there's
Okay, I'll
fire truck.
yeah, don't worry. I'll cut that off.